Hi there, I'm Andrea Garvey and welcome to The Creative Spark. Every week, I'm going to share a simple 10-minute practice to help you return your sketchbook or your art journal and make space for creativity in your everyday life. I hope you enjoy them and I'll see you in the studio. Okay, today we're going to do something that is so meditative and calming and beautiful, and it's watching watercolor combinations, color combinations bleed together and create these beautiful effects. And I can't wait to walk you through some really fun demos, and I hope you really enjoy the process. Okay, this is gonna be so much fun, trust me. I have this little palette of colors and they're just watercolors. It doesn't matter what brand. I've got an orange, pink, this is like a red rose, a blue, a violet, a couple turquoises, a green, and an indigo. Whatever colors you have are fine. And if you don't, these are squeezed out of a tube, but you don't need to worry about that. If yours are in a pan set, that's totally fine. But what I want to do today is play around with wet on wet technique with watercolors, and also watching and being really patient with the colors blending. Okay, so this is a game of patience. A lot of the magic is going to happen after it dries. And I have some examples to show you if it's not quite dry in time. But the first thing I do is I make a shape. Now this is just my little fun way to play around. It could be any shape you want, but I'm just going to make a kind of like a floral, flowerish shape, very loose and whimsical. You may not even see this shape right now because it's wet on wet. It's kind of like a shape like this, just in case you're like, what is that shape you're making? I also like to do another shape too, so I'm going to do two. And what I want to do is I want to start off with a nice pink, and my brush is definitely wet, and my watercolor is wet, and this, in case you're wondering, is a number 8. And it doesn't matter what number paintbrush you have at all. Okay, so pink opera, this is called a pink opera, is a beautiful color to buy, if you ask me, because I love pink. It's just gorgeous. And usually a pink opera you have to kind of get at a store singly. They don't usually come in sets. This bright color, but isn't it so pretty? And I'm just going to put down the pink, and so the color is going to go inside your shape. Then what I want to do is I want to grab some orange, and I have a little orange here, and I want to get it kind of wet, and I'm just going to drop some orange into this flower shape. I could do this all day long. And we're not going to do too much more. Bump, bump. Okay, and then I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm going to move on to this shape because it gets too exciting to want to mess with it. But I want you to be careful with messing with these colors too much because then it will get muddy. And so we're just going to leave that. So my other shape I like to make is a round flower shape. Think roses and peonies and ranunculus. So I'm just kind of going round and round, making like a round shape. So I've got water down. You can kind of see it now because my water's not super clean. And I want to do the same thing. I'm going to grab, I'll actually use this rose color instead of the hot pink. The rose is a little bit redder. It's still beautiful. And I'm just using this brush, and I'm kind of just painting inside where everything was wet with my first color. I have done this exercise too with a little bit of water, with a lot of water. And the main thing is you just want to experiment. That's it. You want to experiment. Find your sweet spot of where a good amount is. I'm going to dot in some of this orange. And let's just put a little bit in the center, just like that. Probably didn't need sound effects, but I felt like it needed it. And then I'm gonna let this dry, okay? So we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna be very careful because it's gonna run. My paper's not super flat. So let's see if I can do this carefully because I wanna do it with another set of colors, okay? So I'm going to now have a different water, new water, same brush though. It doesn't really matter what brush you have. Actually, my thing is running. I'm going to put something down. I'll hold it down. It's going to be really pretty when that is dry. So this one I'm going to do with a little less water, just so we can see, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. We're going to go with the turquoise. And I'm just going to add a little bit of turquoise on my brush, and now you'll be able to see my shape. So you can go right with just regular water, or you can put the color down. This is just another way of doing it. I'm going to add a little bit more. I want you to really fall in love with water and let it go. Like literally, you have no control sometimes, and that's the really cool part too. I think that's really an interesting way to spend an afternoon messing around, is just like let it happen and just watch. So for me, a lot of my creativity is just more of a mindful practice. And so there's nothing more beautiful than watching these colors just bleed together. So I had the turquoise, and now I want to drop in some of this beautiful green. And I'm just putting it in a few little places like that. And that's all I'm going to do to it right now. And then we're going to do that same thing again. We're going to go a little bit lighter, and you'll be able to see my shape a little easier. So I'm just doing that kind of, I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos or taken my classes, but I just kind of like this round and round shape. It's one of my favorite little flower shapes to make. I just want to make sure that I have enough water, and I'm going to drop in some of this turquoise. You can do a lot of, I'm going to show you some examples that I have done so you can see. Sometimes you can do a ton of water, you can do a ton of pigments. I want you to just mess around and see what you like. I'm using colors that work together. So I'm either using cool colors or warm colors. I'm not mixing them right now. I will show you what that's like if you wanted to mix them, because that you do have to really pay attention. Otherwise you will get some mud happening. I'm going to add a little bit more turquoise back in. And you can see I'm just dropping it. I haven't changed my brush though. It's still the same brush. I'm going to put this one aside. And now I want to just change the paper just for another experiment. Okay, so the first two pieces of paper I used were cold pressed. So there's a little texture in there. And that's really cool to have like different papers so you can see how things react. Now I have hot press. Blanked for a second. I have hot press. I have another thing of water just so I'm keeping things kind of clean. And now I want to do some blue and violet together. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush so you can see my crazy flower shape. Trying to keep it like loose and like you're looking at a flower from the side. And then I'm going to go in with my purple. And the paint's just going to go where the water is. It's not going to usually go outside unless you have, of course, a massive amount of water. It's going to kind of stay in your shape. So you could do hearts. You could do any shape. You could do letters. I mean, they're like, seriously, you could do so many things. So this is the hot press, though. I just wanted you to see a different type of paper. And oh my gosh, I can't believe what time it is. We're going to be, I'm yapping away and we are past my trying to keep this a quick demo. So I'm going to just finish this one and pop in some blue. So the violet and the blue are a great color combination. You can do dots, you can brush it in. All the things. All the things. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside and I will put the finished ones. I will do a quick video of the finished ones so you can see it, but I wanted you to see this because this was done earlier today and I really just wanted you to see what happens when things dry. So this was the pink opera and the orange drops together and the same thing. That was the pink and the orange. Then this one had a little bit more water. Okay, so it's a little bit more pigmented. This is the turquoise and the green. I love it so much. You can kind of see this is almost dry. I got to be careful because the bottom one's a little wet. But you can even see on this one how it's kind of drying like that. That's where the magic is. The magic is after it's dry. This was the blue and the ultra blue and violet. And then I was even messing around with a skewer because it was so wet and I was making little flower shapes. And then this is what happens when I had the pink and the orange and I added a drop of turquoise. So you can certainly do it, but I just want you to see like this is turquoise and it wasn't super wet. And then this was super wet. And so it can get to a neutral color and that's still beautiful, but you just have to be really careful not to mix too much. And then this was me messing around with even more pigment and more water. You can kind of see my shapes. So it was really fun. You could do this in your sketchbook. You could do this in an art journal. You just want to make sure it's watercolor paper. So again, it could be any type of paper, hot or cold press. I want you to experiment and see which color combinations that you like, and then make a little note of what you like. Try warm colors, cold colors, and then if you want, add a third color in and just see how it looks together. And then I also have a free watercolor class, like a beginner watercolor class with lots of fun demos in there. If you want to take that, we'll link to that in the comments or description. And then there's that one again too. Like, look how gorgeous that is. I'm obsessed with doing these things. It's a great way to spend, you know, like a little bit of time, like an hour or so, just playing, watching it dry. One other thing I want to tell you too is that when it's dry like this, there's no stopping you from going in and adding more color on top. Signo pen, regular graphite pen, a pencil, paint pens on top. Like, this is just the beginning, but I want you to see, like, imagine a whole bouquet of flowers like this. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that you liked it. I hope it's inspiring you. I'd love to know in the comments. Please let me know if you've tried this and what your favorite color combos are. I'd have to say the reason I did the demo with these two are because these are probably my favorite color combos. And I will see you soon. Bye.